What's going on, everybody? Going a little early here. Why doesn't it work on my television all the time? What's going on, everybody?
Performance, durability, affordability. Only
some free advertising for fucking Harbor Freight. I don't know if you guys know this about me. Some things get me frustrated. I'm human. Some things really piss me off. And one of those things is... Oh, okay. Well, probably should change the camera on my... There we are. Sorry about that, folks. I am not the best at this live thing. So, not many of you may know this about me. But I absolutely despise advertisements. They are the bane of my existence. They are for the weak-minded, and I am not of the weak-minded. And thus, they piss me off. Alright, sorry guys. It takes me 10 minutes to get the camera set up how I want it. And I monitor from my television, which has a delay, so it's all not great. And now you can see the milk crate. Not great. Alright, there we go. Sorry guys, still got a scratchy throat here. Still pretty much getting over the flu, or whatever the hell respiratory thing I had. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is feeling fine. I'm definitely getting incrementally better. It's just maybe it's just because I'm older now and I haven't had the flu in years. I just feel like my recovery has been just because I'm older now, rather slow. Sorry about that. But that's all right, because I have a little bit of strength to do maybe a half hour to an hour live stream here, where probably 45 minutes, where I talk about some of the pickups I've got. There's some cool ones here. Most of it is stuff for the store, admittedly. But I do have 3 packages. I actually don't know what one of the packages is, which is weird, so I may not be able to actually show it. It might be something personal. I don't know. Probably not. I really don't have any secrets in this life. Not many, at least. And so, what would you guys like to see first? I'll take whoever answers first, I guess, if there's anybody in here. Would you guys like to see the 3 items getting unpackaged, unboxed? Or would you like me to get right into the pickups from the latest thrift store outing? And the way I've been doing this is I've been going to the thrift stores, doing a live stream, and then doing some shorts, like 2-3-minute shorts, 2 to 3 minute shorts showing when I was actually out at the thrift stores and how I found this stuff, which works much better for me with my schedule. I can't edit hour-long thrifting videos right now. I plan to get back to that at some point, because I love the immersion of those videos. I really enjoyed making them and kind of just bringing you guys along for the ride. So, but right now, I gotta fit in the YouTube stuff when I can, because I love doing it. Not that it's the only reason I'm doing this, obviously. I do it even if my numbers weren't going up, but my numbers are going up. I'm making a little bit more money through ad revenue, even though I hate ads. I know, I'm a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites to some extent. But my views are going up, my subscriber count's going up, and that really, really thrills me. That's fantastic, because one thing I would like to do is just broaden my reach, to reach more people with cinematic knowledge and recommendations, etc. History. What's up, Byron? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's good to see you. I'm glad you could make the live stream here, as I believe you commented on the last one that you couldn't make it live, but I appreciate you stopping in here now, and we're going to get right into it. Since I haven't gotten an answer, I'm just going to do the unboxing, actually, first. So we've got 3 packages here. We'll start with this one. I've got this rusty-ass blade. Look at that. Look at that. That is a terrifyingly rustic blade. You can't really see it. Sorry, it didn't really... Anyway, alright, so we're going to jump right in, folks. Alright, so this is a film that I had on DVD. I really wanted to watch it. My DVD was actually still sealed because the way I kind of operate is if I have an open used DVD and it's a little scratched up, I'll probably end up, and if I see a brand new copy out at the thrift stores, I'll buy that just to kind of sit on it until the next time I want to watch it. It also holds more value than the used opened DVD would. Not in this case. I brought my DVD back to the game shop that I work at. It might sell, it might not. This is a very, a very forgotten film. I'm not sure why, because it's a fantastic film, and it has a lot in common with the film Mystic River, Clint Eastwood's Mystic River, which was based on a Dennis Lehane novel. Mystic River I adore. It's a terribly tragic Northeastern American film with great actors, great twists, great performances by Sean Penn and Tim Robbins and Kevin Bacon. Just a really cool film about the bonds of friendship and trauma, and the sort of repercussions of that trauma. But a few years before Mystic River, actually 10, I thought this was from the late 90s, but it's from 96, came a film called Sleepers that deals with very similar themes of abuse and trauma. I won't go too into it, frankly, because I haven't seen this in a long time. I just remember it being a really great slow burn drama with great characters, great actors. It's about, if I'm remembering correctly, it's about some boys that got into some trouble. They got sent to like a boys' school, and some of them, or at least one of them, was raped, sexually abused and raped by, you know, the headmasters or whatever it might be, the people in charge, as is often the case, the authority. One of the reasons I despise authority and I don't listen usually. What's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, that reminds me. I want to show you guys this in a second. I'll show that off. Technically a pickup. But yeah, Sleepers has Kevin Bacon, Robert De Niro, and great roles across the board. Dustin Hoffman, Jason Patric, Brad Pitt, and Bruno Kirby, the late Bruno Kirby. This must have been one of his later films. Brad Renfro, the late Brad Renfro. He committed suicide, sadly. And Minnie Driver. So this is written for the screen and directed by Barry Levinson. Barry Levinson would do, you know, Wag the Dog. I'm blanking. Rain Man. I think he just did the Alto Kings or whatever it is. I get him mixed up with Sonnenfeld, Barry Sonnenfeld sometimes, but I'm trying to figure out if this was based on a book. I think it was based upon the book by Lorenzo Carcatera. So that is an Italian name, but it could have been an American, Italian-American writer. I'm not sure. Barry Levinson wrote this for the screen, directed it. John Williams did the music. So, again, this has a lot of really great names attached to it, and it's a really good film. It's long. It's 2.5 hours long, but it is a slow burn that really pulls you in and intrigues you with its characters and with its atmosphere. It's very dark, brooding atmosphere. It's a great film, and one that I definitely want to check out soon. Byron asks, do you keep a book or anything with what you've watched? I am working on that for myself. Yes, actually, go to letterboxd.com/MikeTV4388. That is Letterboxd. I recommend everybody get Letterboxd. Letterboxd is awesome. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. But asks, do you think the 4:3 aspect ratio... Do you think the 4:3 aspect ratio... I was going to ask if you think the 4:3 aspect ratio still has a place in modern films. Absolutely, yeah. Paul Schrader did a film a few years back called First Reformed, which was shot in 4:3. Lighthouse was shot in 4:3. Absolutely, I think that box look definitely has a place in modern cinema. Just like I feel the same way about black and white cinematography. Ricky Torres says, Sleeper sounds heavy. Shocked I haven't heard of it with how padded that cast is. Exactly. It's a very strong cast. A film that deals with, obviously, in my opinion, some of the heavier themes that a film could follow or could explicate. and that is, you know, adults taking advantage of children in sexual ways. I mean, I think that's one of the most evil things in the world, frankly. Letterboxd is amazing for creating lists. Yeah, if you guys want to check out my Letterboxd, I tried to change it to the Bored Cyborg. I just couldn't get it, so it has my stupid old... you'll see my logo and everything, but it has my stupid old, like, AIM name or whatever. Mike TV. That's T as in Thomas, V as in Valentine for my name, and then 4388. So that's letterboxd.com/MikeTV4388. And you can see all the stuff I'm watching in real time. I have a bunch of lists. Some are privated, but most are public. Obscure, yeah, Letterboxd is a great tool. I use it way more than IMDb these days. I do find that Letterboxd, you know, I think Letterboxd skews, how do I say this? And this is nothing against liberal people or anything, but it skews liberal, I find, and IMDb skews conservative, or I don't know how else to say it besides using those. I'm a political person, so that's kind of the way I think. But certain films that you would... that's what I found. I found that certain more liberal-minded films rate higher on Letterboxd, and more conservative films rate lower, and then on IMDb, it's the opposite. So I think that's interesting, and I kind of use both. I don't take ratings completely to heart, but I do take them into consideration. I'm 37 years old. I've seen 4,500 films. I don't have time to waste watching crap. So if Letterboxd has a movie at a 2 out of 5, and IMDb has it at a 2 or a 3.5 out of 10, I'm probably going to skip over it, unless it has people in it that I'm very interested in, or directors, or whatever it might be. With that said, you know, I use both, but primarily, honestly, I mostly use Letterboxd. It's just a great, intuitive tool. I wish that it wasn't as infested with ads as it is now. Everywhere you scroll, you're hitting an ad by accident. It's a nightmare. That's probably how they make the most money. The majority of the money through ad revenue, by accident. That might be how most ad revenue is made. Letterboxd has a lot more foreign films in its top 250. Yes, IMDb is almost all American or British. That's true. It is a little bit more... again, I don't use this as a pejorative, but a little bit more snooty. A little bit more kind of how I was in my 20s with film. A little bit more pretentious. But there are a lot of great films. And like you said, foreign films do get more love. On Letterboxd. Letterboxd is more film fanatics like we are. IMDb is more, I guess, your normal film goers and film watchers. That's a decent way to end it there. But yeah, Sleepers, guys, check this out. Really cool. I found this Blu-ray on eBay for like $6 shipped. It's not perfect condition, but good enough for me. Good enough for you. And I'm looking forward to checking that out again. All right, I'm going to test this. This kombucha that I've had in the fridge for like a week. I'm hoping it still has a bit of pop. Let's hear it. I don't know. It says to gently swirl to get all the good bacteria moving around in there, so they could fight the bad bacteria in my gut. Hopefully, that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, it still has a little bit of pop. Natural carbonation due to the fermentation process with kombucha. Let's see. Thank you, Byron. I enjoy writing it out and writing what I took away from it. I'm afraid of something not being online, or I mean, that's a very fair assessment there. Yeah, kombucha's good. I don't drink too much of it, but maybe one a week or so. Yes, I'm still. Hey, Jolly Good, what's going on? I am feeling not 100%. This is day 10 of the flu. Today I have a day off, and then I'm running a marathon at the game shop, working 35 hours or so in 3 days. And so I'm trying to heal up today. After this, I'm just going to relax, watch some movies, read a little bit. I have a date with the original Resident Evil. I'm about halfway through it. First time I've ever gotten that far in the game. I've just always had trouble with Resident Evil 1. This is the remake on the PS4, so the green is the best. Ooh, the green one, yeah. That's not, admittedly, that's not one of my favorites. I like the blood orange one. I like the ginger-based ones. I like the ginger berry one. That one I get occasionally. Feeling a little bit better, guys. Thank you so much. I find that when I exert myself a little too much, like going to the grocery store. uh, it does a bit of a number on me. It's disconcerting, but it's a slow heal. I'm not getting worse or anything, so it is what it is. All right, guys, let's jump right back in, or this live stream is going to be 20 hours long. Ginger's great, good for your sickness too. Exactly, that's why I chose that one. Not to glamorize getting the flu, but there is something magical about the movies you watch when sick. It's true. I have a lot of nostalgia for films I watched sick as a kid. Definitely, there's almost a comfort in being sick in our crazy, chaotic, impetuous society. And that it's a comfort. It's I'm sick. I don't have to do anything because I need to get better. So I have no obligations. I'm not going anywhere. I don't have to work. Now there are more negatives than positives because I lost a week of money, which is it's going to be a bitch for me to get out of. But it is what it is. It's still in the COVID era, I guess. I don't give a shit what I got, whether it was COVID or the flu. I think those things are a lot alike. They're both respiratory viruses. They're both coronaviruses, from what I understand. What's up, Mr. Ralph Rosa? Whatever I got, it sucked. I don't want it again. I don't wish it on my worst enemies. But, all right. Next up, guys. I think I know what this one is, but the next one I actually don't know. I'm a little confused about... I thought I only ordered these two. All right, so I've been on a bit of a corruption, crime, sort of cops and robbers kind of thing. I watched We Own the Night, where it's like a brother who's into some petty drug stuff, and a family who's a family of cops. We Own the Night, James Gray. It's a fantastic film. I think one of the best modern crime films since the turn of the millennium. And I watched Narc, which I absolutely fell in love with its kinetic style. And man, I missed that Joe Carnahan. He kind of just went mainstream after that one, it seems. And what else? I watched Dark Blue, which is a favorite of mine. I really love that one. I love the performance by Kurt Russell. So I was looking at Letterboxd, because Letterboxd is great. They have all these genres, and you could say, I want an action crime movie. Those two genres. Now, the genrefying isn't perfect on Letterboxd, but it's pretty damn good. Some things that I think are horror or think are action, may not necessarily be marked that way. So I did crime, drama, and a bunch of films came up over the last 20 years. You could narrow it down by year, by decade. It's fantastic. Maybe they should sponsor me. They should sponsor me. Kurt, I'm not sure. Kurt Russell? Yeah, of course Kurt Russell's still alive. Jeez, don't scare me like that. I love Kurt Russell. But this one came out in 2013. It stars Billy Crudup and Clive Owen. It says Clive Owen's release from prison takes place in Brooklyn, 1970. Younger brother Frank, Billy Crudup, who plays a cop. So cops and criminals, they're brothers. I love these types of films. Maybe it's because I have a brother myself, and it really delves into sort of those brotherly bonds of loyalty and moral complexity, moral ambiguity in some ways. But, it's all good, jolly good. No need to apologize. Michael, how we doing, lads? We're doing all right, sir. Thank you. How you doing, Michael? The Frugal Collector. Hey, Frugal Collector. I'm one of those, too. I like your name. Thank you for joining. We're just getting right into it. We've got one more thing to unbox, and I'm going to go over some stuff I've picked up over the last few days or week. Byron says, I like when you add your thoughts about politics, the world. I know it isn't the most important here because some people might be butthurt or judgy, but I appreciate it. I'm interested to check Letterboxd. Thank you, Byron. That means a lot to me. I'm a very political person. All I do is read in my free time for the most part and watch an occasional movie. And I read articles. I listen to political podcasts. I'm really interested in political theory, so it's just a part of who I am. So if people don't like it, that's fine. They could move on. And I'm sure people disagree with my opinion sometimes, but I try to be moral, I try to be ethical, and I try to be reasonable. And at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. Some of it based on fact, some of it speculation. But we're all in this together, people. We're all in this together. It's the rich against the poor, as it always is. the super rich, the filthy billionaire, $20 billion kind of rich. But anyway, guys, so we have Blood Ties. Crime Runs in the Family. This is a really cool one because it's actually written, the screenplay was written by James Gray. James Gray did The Yards, he did We Own the Night, Little Odessa. He's really good at these gritty crime thrillers from the 90s and the aughts. And this one is from 2013, so really excited to check this one out. It's directed and written by, or co-written by Guillaume Canet. Guillaume Canet. I'm really bad with French pronunciation, but that seems to be a French director, at least with a French name. This is a 2-hour-long sort of crime epic. It's supposed to be pretty good. Clive Owen, Billy Crudup, Marion Cotillard, Mila Kunis, Zoe Saldana. Some beautiful women in this movie. Matthias Schoenaerts and James Caan. So this is a period piece crime film that deals with a brother who's a criminal and another brother who's a cop. My type of film. Hopefully it's nice and gritty and violent and tells a good story. That is Blood Ties. I didn't even know about that film. That's, again, the great thing about Letterboxd is you just discover these really cool films. The Long Walk dropped on VOD this week. I know you're not the biggest fan of modern movies, but this felt like a throwback to the 90s. Cool. I do want to check that one out. Excellent. Is it talky and dialogue heavy and character based? Hopefully with some shocking and abrupt Stephen King violence, which we have all grown to appreciate. The way the way he handles violence in his books has always been interesting to me. Very abrupt and lurid. Talky, yeah. Yeah, I loved watching The Langoliers again because it was so cool to just watch a film with people talking to each other. Man, maybe that's a reflection of society. People don't talk to each other anymore, at least in the West, seemingly, and maybe that's why it's not reflected. That's why maybe that's reflected onto the screen is people don't talk to each other. So there's not much room for interesting dialogue anymore in modern cinema. It's people walking and talking. Reminded me of a bit of Walter Hill's Southern Comfort. Love that one. That's a good one. Oh, shit! I forgot I even ordered this. Because I ordered it months ago, and it took months to get here, even though Limited Run is not too far from where I live. Sounds like the disc got... I can't tell if that's the disc. I am going to open it up. It is a PS5 game. Sorry, guys, I'm leaving you hanging here. But I didn't expect this. So, I've talked about Streets of Rage 4 before on my channel, and the Streets of Rage games, and how much I love them. And Streets of Rage 4 came out. I played the hell out of it. And the... I forgot the guys, Lizard Cube are the guys who developed the game. When they announced that they were doing another Sega classic franchise, Shinobi, which is a franchise I grew up playing. These games so much back in the day. Revenge of Shinobi. Never beat that one. Still the hardest one in my opinion. Shadow Dancer, which I absolutely adore. Still play it. And then finally, Shinobi 3, probably my favorite of the three. I love everything about these. Actually, music by Yuzo Koshiro, the guy who did a lot of the music from Streets of Rage 4, and pretty much all the music from Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. So, these three games are some of my favorite games of all time. Fun fact about Revenge, the first copy of it, the first run of it, which I have two copies of this, actually, because the first run, believe it or not, has... Terminator as a boss, Rambo as an enemy you fight, Spider-Man as a boss, and I'm not talking about like inspired by, I'm talking about straight up ripped off. And so after that game came out, they got a whole bunch of lawsuits from a whole bunch of people. Godzilla's in it, Batman, and they changed the game, and that's this copy. But I have another copy over there which I've had since I was a kid, which was the first one my pops ever got, and it has all of those cool sort of enemies in the game that were censored later on for intellectual property reasons. Mount Rushmore video game adaptations. I would say certainly Certainly Mortal Kombat from the 90s. I love Mortal Kombat from the 90s. I love the Super Mario Brothers movie. I'm nostalgic, sure, but I do think the movies have passion and a lot of heart that went into them. And Super Mario Brothers movie has some really cool aspects to it as well. And what else? Let's see. It's hard. I liked the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out a few years ago. I thought it was pretty good. I'm missing some. Help me out here. Silent Hill, I thought, nailed the atmosphere of the video games perfectly. I thought the story was a little jumbled, a little fumbled, I should say. I felt like it could have been handled a bit better. But I loved the Silent Hill film. Yes, Resident Evil. I love the first 3 Resident Evil films. I'm an apologist for Paul Thomas Anderson. I think he makes fun, big budget B movies, which are still fun. Everything he does pretty much is a good time, in my opinion. Even the Monster Hunter one I had a good time with. But I love the first Resident Evil. I'm so nostalgic for it, and I also think it's a great film. I wish we got the George Romero one, but we didn't. We got the Paul W.S. Anderson one. And I love the franchise as a whole. I watch it over and over. I have a great time with it. B-movie fun. Big budget B-movie fun with Mila Jovovich kicking a ton of ass, and you can't go wrong with that. Jack Black and Chris Pratt. Not sure which one you're referring to there, Jack Black and Chris Pratt. I can't think of what they're in. But yeah, I love Resident Evil, the Resident Evil series. It's a lot of fun. I like the Mario movies, the Mortal Kombat old movie, not the newer one. I thought the newer one was garish and violent for no reason. It was like the most violent PG-13 movie ever. It was vanilla. I thought the characters were not great. I thought inventing a new character for the movie was stupid. It was okay. Anyway, Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. Man, I might bust this out and play it today. Art of Vengeance is the newest Shinobi game that reverts to the 2D art style. This in hand-drawn fashion there. See if I could focus in on some of those screenshots there for you. But this is, like I said, a game that was done by Lizard Cube, who do these beautiful hand-drawn side-scrolling games here. I'm not sure if this is level-based or if it's more Metroidvania. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's more level-based, if it's in line with the old Shinobi games. I also have Shinobi on the 3DS down here. I have Shinobi on the PS2. A big Shinobi fan. Who doesn't love ninjas? In the 90s, ninjas were the shit. I even loved Wrath of the Black Manta, the Ninja Gaiden games. Gaiden! Which is what the great film The Wizard taught me, is Gaiden! That was definitive back in the day. We've got some DLC. I hope the code didn't show because I don't want anybody to steal my DLC. I get some, I don't know, some digital crap, I guess. But you gotta love the artwork on the inside there. Look at that. Limited Run put this out, so I did end up ordering this from Limited Run. And very glad that they decided to do a physical version. This comes with a nice little art book. Nothing crazy, but hey, it's a full color art book. Some awesome, I mean awesome artwork here. Look at that. Epic. The game is going to be cool, man. I can't wait. I love the game The Messenger, too. Any games with ninjas. Shadow of the Ninja. Thank you for playing. You are welcome. I am going to play the shit out of this. This is my type of modern game, folks. You know, that reminds me. I want to show off something else in the video game realm. If you guys hear a loud crash... Oh my god. Sorry, I'm a monkey. Don't mind me. You guys get a nice shot of my butt there. Enjoy. Sorry. Alright, so this one, I actually, my boss and my friend, Billy, the man I work for, the game shop owner, can order games at a portion of the price. You know, he gets like 15% off or something like that, and that's what we buy them for. And when I saw this was announced, I forget where I saw it announced, but, you know, the algorithm sometimes really does get you. So I saw, like, a video of this playing or something like that, or maybe a YouTube video, somebody talking about it. And it is Space Adventure Cobra, The Awakening. So Space Adventure Cobra is one of my favorite old anime OVAs and films. Osamu Dezaki directed the original film, and I believe had something to do with the original OVA too, the original series. Yeah, oh yeah, there will be movies. This is the last video game. It just ties into movies, ties into anime, so yeah, don't worry. Nothing but movies coming up here. And but this is a side-scrolling action platformer that is based on the first 8 episodes of the old Space Adventure Cobra anime, which is awesome. So this is not supposed to be a great game, but I got it for like $30, and so I'm gonna give it a shot. All right, guys, on to the movies here. We're gonna just go through them one by one. So some stuff, you know, this is stuff that I pick up for the store that I know will sell, like perfect condition superhero movies. This one being my favorite superhero movie, in fact. The Winter Soldier. I love this film. Obviously, I have it on Blu-ray. I think this is the best Marvel film by far. Michael asks what I think of the newest Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. I thought it was garbage. I thought the newest show was garbage. I couldn't even get past the first episode. I thought it was absolute trash, garbage. But I think the new Resident Evil is being done by, isn't it Zach Kreger from Weapons and Barbarian and The Whitest Kids You Know? I think he's doing, and I read, he had a blurb about it. He said something like, I want to do a Resident Evil movie that follows one character that is trying to get through the city from one place from A to B. And I think that's brilliant because that's what the games are. Unlocking puzzles, finding weapons, fighting zombies. I can't wait for Zach Kreger's adaptation of Resident Evil. I think that's going to be excellent. So we shall see. But yeah, Captain America Winter Soldier, you know, great spy caper. One of the best North by Northwest type of films to come out in recent years. And my favorite Russo brothers films, I feel like they were subsumed. They were absorbed by the machine after that one. Lady Hawk. This is a classic Richard Donner film. Fantasy, Rutger Hauer, Michelle Pfeiffer, Matthew Broderick, with really out-of-place music. Some people love the music. I think the music is good. I just think it's a little out of place for a fantasy film. It's like very electronic, and it creates an interesting atmosphere, I will say. Who did it? It was the Alan Parsons Project, if I remember correctly. Not my favorite band or anything, but their music's good. It just doesn't really fit the film, so I'm not quite sure what they were thinking. But, hey, they're artists. They can do what they want. But Lady Hawk is a good film. Again, I own this on Blu-ray archive, so figured I'd bring that to the store. That's a kind of obscure one to bring to the store. Love Alan Parsons. Yeah, it's not my favorite thing, but I appreciate people who like it. I can understand. Do you have do you have some favorite sword and sorcery films like Deathstalker coming soon? Interesting. Let's see. I love the like Beastmaster quite a bit. Deathstalker's super fun. Conan the Barbarian, obviously, and Conan the Destroyer. I like the old Hercules films with Reeves. I've seen a couple of them, not many of them. I love the Sinbad films from the 60s, from the 50s, and the 70s. I love those. 50s and 70s. I love the Lou Ferrigno Sinbad. I love the Lou Ferrigno Hercules. Those are super fun Italian films. I think Luigi Cozzi, or Louis Coates in America, directed those. Super fun and ridiculous, over-the-top B movies that if you're not having fun with those Lou Ferrigno Hercules movies, you don't have a pulse. Those movies are an incredible time, by yourself or with friends. In one of them, he throws a bear into outer space. It's fucking great. The Barbarians is another good one. I have that one on what? Who put that out? Somebody put that out. Roger Corman's label. There's some really fun Italian ones like Conquest. Yeah, no, I love Conquest. I have Conquest. Conquest is awesome. I think that's an awesome Fulci film. Probably one of the best non-horror Fulci films, even though it incorporates some of that real great and memorable and crunchy realistic Fulci gore, especially in the first like 10 minutes of that movie. It's awesome. But what I love about Conquest, something that people hate, is the fogginess, the sort of ethereal, fog-laden atmosphere of that film. Every shot seems to have fog running through it. Sometimes it's hard to see, but it adds this dreamlike quality to the film that I just think that's what it is. It feels like a dream. It feels of another world, ethereal. It's a good sword and sorcery film. I have that one on DVD by Blue Underground. I wonder if they've released that on Blu-ray. Would love if you ever do a video on Italian horror. I definitely plan to. I just need to brush up like I did with slashers. I'm admittedly a little burnt out on horror right now, which is why I've been watching a lot of crime films, things like that. I watched Backdraft the other night as well. Awesome movie. Honestly, one of the best Ron Howard films. This film bleeds passion and bleeds heart. Great brother story there going on with crime, an arson kind of thing going on, and they're trying to figure out who's doing it. I love Robert De Niro's character in the film. He plays a fire chief trying to figure out what's going on, if it's arson or if it's not, and really cool. He has this scene where he talks about fire and how it's living and breathing and it eats, and it's an excellent scene. Cool movie. Shaun of the Dead, obviously a classic. Not much needs to be said about Shaun of the Dead. I rhymed, coming straight off the head. Motherfuckers try to see me, and they end up laying in bed. I don't know. I freestyle sometimes. You should revisit Welcome to Raccoon City. No expectations, just a fun zombie movie. I hear you, Michael. I've actually watched the film twice. Because the first time I was like, I had an okay time with it. And then the second time I was like, ugh. I'll watch it again at some point. I would like to own it. I'm a completionist. Oh, that reminds me. I'm a completionist, so I do want that one to complete the set. Because I have the other 5 Japanese animated films, which I really love. They're not great. They're not masterpieces, but they're a good time. They're more in line with the lore from the video games. So if you love the video games like I do, the Japanese animated ones are more in line with the lore and story and characters of those original games. And I think it's great. My favorite, I don't really have a favorite. They're all kind of a 3 out of 5. I like all of them quite a bit. The first one's really fun because it's like a Romero film in an airport. It's like zombies in an airport. I thought that was cool. I like the politics. They're cheesy. It's fun. It's fun stuff. And good animation. In the last one, what was it? Death Island? We got to see like all the old characters. Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Claire Redfield, all of the old characters together fighting zombies. It was awesome. Eureka's Castle. That's right. You reminded me that was the name of it. I remember watching that in the late 80s, early 90s, you know. So, Shaun of the Dead, great zombie comedy classic, of course, guys. Bringing that to the store. The Avengers, obviously, not much needs to be said about the Avengers. I'm bringing that one to the store. I still enjoy the Avengers quite a bit. I think it's a great fun time before the movies got trite and sort of formulaic. The first Avenger, another really cool one that does feel different. Feels like Joe Johnston had quite the say in this movie. This was when they were still finding their footing. The Russo brothers hadn't come around and kind of set the standard for what a Marvel film has to be all the time. And this film I thought was just a really interesting period piece with good actors, good villain, great action sequences, and Joe Johnston just directs a fun movie pretty much all the time. So Jumanji, you know, things like that. So The Rocketeer. Sort of like Spielberg light, I always felt. And this is a great epic film. Really enjoyed this one. Going to the shop. This one, not so much. This is more of the trite, formulaic brand of Marvel films here. I have it on Blu-ray. My father, when he passed, that was one from his collection, so I won't be getting rid of that. And like I said, I'm a completionist. I want all the Marvel movies. It's hard, though, man, because I really don't want Miss Marvel. Like, I don't want to spend $1 on it. Or Captain Marvel. And I don't want the Eternals, that boring slog. And I just don't want some of these films because I think they're so bad and unwatchable. But I am a completionist, so I kind of want the whole set. I guess for $1 I'd pick them up. But Ant-Man Wasp, I do want Quantumania. I thought Quantumania was a fun sort of throwback to Fantastic Voyage. It was a fun B-movie, in my opinion. Ridiculous fun B-movie. With heavy-handed messaging. But still a fun movie. The Incredible Hulk, a film that I do like. Another early Marvel film where they let the director kind of have a little bit more free reign in terms of their creativity and their vision. And I think this film is good. It's not great. It's like a 3.5 out of 5. It's a fun movie at least, and I like Edward Norton as the Hulk. My favorite Hulk is probably Edward Norton. I don't know. Ruffalo just doesn't do much for me, guys. He just doesn't. In other movies, he does sometimes. It's just that sort of, I don't know, teddy bear-like softness and sort of, there's not much passion in his performances, not that I've seen at least, and he's just not that interesting of an actor. I'm so burnt out on superhero movies. The only one I could tolerate these days is Blade. Yes, Blade's awesome. I liked Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle was fun. I'm a huge fan of Shazam. Man, that movie makes me feel like a kid. What can I say? Shazam is a great film. Blue Beetle was one of the only ones of late that I thought was okay. Byron asks, have you heard of the anime short called Angel's Egg? Yes, by Mamoru Oshii. I have. I own it on Blu-ray, in fact. Angel's Egg. Actually, no, I own Belladonna of Sadness. Angel's Egg went out of print and I didn't grab it. But I am a big fan of Mamoru Oshii, who did Ghost in the Shell. It's a movie about the question of existence. Yes, that's one that I definitely want to see and have yet to do so. I ponder existence every day. Many existential crises every day. Jolly Good says, I hear you. Unlike you, I really don't buy really expensive stuff like $40. And yeah, no, I don't either. Pretty much all the 40, 50, 60, $100 movies in my collection I bought for $1. The only time I'll spend a little bit of money is if I have the DVD and it's worth something. Like Armed and Dangerous, I remember I sold my DVD for like $20. And then I bid on an auction and won the Blu-ray for like $30. So I spent a little bit out of pocket. But Armed and Dangerous is one that I really wanted for the collection, and it's only going to get more expensive. And I got a good deal on it at that price. All right, guys, we got a couple VHS here that I thought were pretty cool, and I think collectible for people that shop at the bookshop. I had been off of work for a week. Last night I went in for a shift, and man, I had a full shelf of VHS. And those things are selling like crazy. It's amazing to me. I feel like they're selling more than the Blu-rays, and I'm pretty sure that's the case. So, pretty interesting. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get a sticker off here somewhat successfully. Again, The Straight Story. This is a David Lynch film doing a film for Disney, believe it or not. And when was this from? I want to say it was from the 90s. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like 95, 96, something like that. But yeah, or 99. There you go. 98 or 99. But yeah, I hear really good things about this straight drama. This is more of an accessible David Lynch film. I doubt it has much weirdness to it. I'm sure it does. He was a good filmmaker, so he was able to make what people revere as one of his best films, The Straight Story, which is a straight drama about a man traveling from one place to the other and with his tractor. And I don't know. I don't know much about this, but I hear it's a very good film. Harry Dean Stanton. Angelo Badalamenti does the music, who did the music for Twin Peaks. Michael says, I watched the first 2 years ago. I should go back and watch them all. Yes, and Byron says, sadly got my VHS a long while back, but so sad I did. Let's see. And then Michael says, Captain America, one of the best ones to rewatch. For sure. I agree with you. Next up, again, I thought this one would be collectible for people who know what they're looking at. And we do get some film heads out there, some connoisseurs of cinema. And that is M. Butterfly. This is a David Cronenberg film. One of the few David Cronenberg films that I'd say this is the only one that's really a straight drama. History of Violence, Eastern Promises, 2 films I adore, especially Eastern Promises, are more crime films. This is more straight drama. Jeremy Irons. M. Butterfly was an old stage play, a Broadway play, I believe. This is a romance, drama kind of thing. Not the typical Cronenberg film, but one that, you know, I have in the collection on DVD because I'm a Cronenberg fanatic. It's honestly, I believe, the last Cronenberg film I've yet to see. I know there's some of his early ones, Fast Company, Crimes of the Future. I still need to see both of those versions. But M. Butterfly, I thought maybe somebody would pick that up for a few bucks on VHS. See, any Pokemon DVDs? No, I don't have many, just that one I showed off last time. The only Pokemon DVDs I need are the first season. Oh, I do have the Pokemon movie on Blu-ray, the trilogy, actually, because I grew up watching those. Those are great. Saw the first one in theater. It was a big deal, man. And I always thought they should have called the Pokemon the first movie. And since Mew and Mewtwo are like main characters in the film, I always thought it should have been called Pokemon the First Mewvie. Bad puns. I've been doing them since I was a kid. Michael says Captain Marvel wasn't bad. The Marvels was atrocious. Well, I'll take your word for it. I thought Captain Marvel was pretty close to atrocious. So I'll probably think The Marvels is beyond repent. But I appreciate your opinion. Byron Vampire, me too. Ha, my mom hated. Yeah, exactly. All right, next up, guys, we have Deadpool 2, a film I saw in theaters. I had a fun time with. I thought it was a good time. Back when I used to support these kinds of movies still. This was how many years ago now? 2018. I've changed quite a bit. I don't support these big studio movies anymore. Not anymore. Deadpool 2, fun movie, going to the store. Here's a Blu-ray I think I'm going to keep for the collection. I can't help myself. I'm a sucker for these bad, overlong, DTV, mid-aughts disaster films, and these are 2 in 1. Category 7, The End of the World, and 10.5, Apocalypse. So, yeah, these are not going to be great. Like I said, they're long. They're TV miniseries, technically, so they're like 3 hours long. And Randy Quaid, Shannon Doherty, Kim Delaney, Dean Cain, I mean, Oliver Hudson, I don't even know half these names. Frank Langella, Beau Bridges, I know those names. And, yeah, these are just, you know, rip-offs of, like, Day After Tomorrow and stuff that was coming out in the theater. They're not made by Asylum, but you would think they were. But I enjoy these for what they are. Shitty disaster movies. I'm a sucker for a disaster film. What can I say? This one was cool. I've yet to look this one up. I think I own it, if I'm not mistaken, but this disc was perfect, and I don't know how I remember these details, but I think the first time I picked this up, it was a little scratched up. And so with that said, the artwork is damaged, but I think I could get a good copy out of both of these mediocre copies, or middling copies. Executive producers Milos Forman and Norman Lear, way past cool. Anger grows up and becomes revenge. Truth. Widescreen presentation. This is... let's see. Way Past Cool's coming-of-age story told in reverse. The gripping tale of a group of young black kids and their fight to reclaim their childhood. The friends, as they simply call themselves, are 12 and 13-year-olds living on the ragged turf of Oaktown, better known as Oakland, Cali, when a powerful 16-year-old drug dealer tries to set the group against their rivals in an attempt to overtake the neighborhood. Jesus. They have no choice but to make the most difficult of decisions and act as men. Moving and funny, lyrical and shocking, Way Past Cool will take you inside the minds of the most unlikely heroes. Sounds like a really interesting urban drama, hood drama. I don't like urban drama. Hood drama works for me better. Dramas that take place in projects, in poor neighborhoods, in the hood, whatever you want to call it. Multiple names for the same thing. In this particularly black neighborhoods, predominantly black neighborhoods. And so this is in the line of movies like Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society, films that I adore. So we'll check out Way Past Cool. It came out in 2004, directed by Adam Davidson. It says Academy Award-winning director, but it doesn't say what he won for. So, Best Short Film, The Lunch Date in 1990. There you go. So, yeah, I'll check this out. Way Past Cool. Interesting name. Mediocre. Here we have a 2-film collection. The Lego Movie, the second part. This is a double feature here. I think they're both on one disc, it feels like, but I think this is brand new. It'll sell at the game shop. This is a weird one. The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story. I guess this is a dramatization. I see John Travolta, David Schwimmer here. Looks like, what's his name? Cuba Gooding Jr. is playing O.J. I'm not sure what the deal with this one is. Bruce Greenwood, Sterling Brown. Seeks to pierce through the veil of race, class, and celebrity, both then and now. Yeah, I don't really have too much interest in this kind of thing, these procedural, based on real-life dramas. I'm more interested in the real history and the real facts than a dramatization, in most cases. I did like Dahmer. I thought that Dahmer was pretty good. People had problems with it, but I really like Dahmer. I want to see the other monster ones that director did. And there's a new one, John Wayne Gacy. I want to see that one too. I like when it portrays these people as human, but obviously doesn't shy away from the monstrous side. I believe humans are all capable of monstrosity, of atrocity, of evil, and I'm okay with films humanizing human beings, like Hitler, for example, or the worst of the worst. Humanize them so that we can better understand what in them made them do what they did. If you don't humanize them and just paint them, first of all, that's boring and not very morally intelligent, ethically intelligent. Portray them like a human and show the awful things that they did. I think that's the best way to do it. And I thought Dahmer did that pretty well as it glorifies a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But we live in a society that glorifies serial killers. You know, that's just a weird psychological thing that we do. And it's a very popular genre, oddly popular, reflective of society again. But the new John Wayne Gacy show is one I want to check out. It's supposed to be good. Lego Movie is stop motion. Yeah, the stop motion really blew my mind. It was digital stop motion, I'm sure. There's no way they did that whole thing, you know, Paranorman style or something. Yeah, I thought the Lego Movie was really cool, despite it being a big commercial for Legos, which I'm sure helped their sales tremendously, which they certainly don't need. There's enough 40-year-old men out there buying their products and buying them before the kids can have access to them. Same with the Pokemon cards. We live in such a backwards society. I think it's funny. Nothing wrong with being a big kid. I'm a big kid, but when you're like waking up at 7 a.m. to go get the newest Legos or the newest Pokemon cards and, you know, getting them before kids can get them, I think, and flipping them online or whatever, I think that's pretty pathetic. If you're collecting them, that's one thing. But most of these people are scalpers, pathetic scalpers with YouTube channels. Training Day is an Antoine Fuqua, kind of fits into the types of films that I've been watching as of late. But I really love Training Day. King Kong ain't got shit on me. One of the best Denzel performances as a corrupt cop. I love the scene where he laces, what is it, a cigarette? He's like, that's PCP. He's like, you're smoking PCP right now, motherfucker. That shit's so funny. Same movies, also these movies are the same composer like Rugrats and Crash Bandicoot. Mark Mothersbaugh. Interesting, I didn't know Mark Mothersbaugh did the music for Lego Movie. And Mark Mothersbaugh, yes, did the music for Rugrats and Crash Bandicoot. He was also from the old 80s pop rock band Devo. So Whip It Good. That was Mark Mothersbaugh and his brother and a couple others. We have a gold member. I wouldn't have picked it up if I noticed full screen. I didn't notice full screen. I still get tricked with that damn thing sometimes. But it's in perfect shape, and maybe somebody will snag it at the game shop. We'll see. I agree. I collect dolls mostly, but I love getting them cheap and restoring them. Sorry, not movies. Oh yeah, no, it's totally fine. Like I said, I have no problem with people getting up early and collecting things, but we live in a society where everybody has to hustle, has to have a hustle, and they go out and they scalp, you know, all sorts of things. Action figures, Legos, Pokemon cards. It's just like, get a real job. It's so fucking frustrating. You know, I buy and sell movies, but I'm obviously a collector, and I'm not... Nobody cares about DVDs, so I don't feel like I'm taking anything away from kids who are trying to enjoy their youth. Like I did, collecting Pokemon cards. We didn't have to worry about crusty, portly scalpers when I was a kid. Speak of the devil, here's Eastern Promises. I love this film. One of my favorite non-horror Cronenberg films. I love a good mob movie, and this is the best Russian mob movie I have seen. Little Odessa's close. Little Odessa's more Ukrainian mob, with Russian mob in there as well. But this is such a cool film with a great twist, an incredible, intense, I should say reserved but intense performance by Viggo Mortensen, who is just, you could tell he's dangerous. I love his tattoos, just the whole look of his character. The action sequence in the bathhouse is one of the greats from this decade, from this time. It's just such a cool scene. He has this cool, like, Kaiser blade, or sling blade, I think it is, where he cuts up these dudes. Oh, man, it's so cool. You have the steam from the sauna kind of obscuring the imagery, but Cronenberg shoots it like a fucking champ. It's amazing. Here we have Vegas Vacation, another one I picked up for the store. This one, I like to have popular movies like Winter Soldier and like Lego Movie, but I like to have more obscure comedies sometimes like this, and like some of the like some of the, I don't know, some more obscure, like Straight Story, things like that for the hardcore movie fanatics out there. All right, now I'm gonna save the really cool stuff for last because I found some fucking crazy things at the Restore the other day. These are less crazy. I'll show these and then I'll get into the rest here. I'm gonna take a sip of the kombucha. How's everybody doing? Feel free to give this live stream a thumbs up if you're enjoying it, guys. It helps me greatly. All of your support is helping the channel grow very slowly. As you know, I'm not very algorithmically friendly, nor do I give a shit to be so. I'd love to make a living doing this, or at least a part-time living, but I'm not going to sell out and talk about all the things that the algorithm would like me to talk about. I'm going to carve out my own path, no matter how stubborn and ignorant that sounds. But I appreciate all your support, guys. Got some cool things planned for the channel. And yeah. So give it a thumbs up if you're new to this channel and you're enjoying this live stream. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and the little bell for notifications so you'll be alerted as to when I go live. Sorry guys, my nose is so itchy here. Next up we have Jean-Claude Van Damme, Knockoff. This is the Tsui Hark film. I'm a big fan of this era where the Hong Kong directors were directing some American action films, and with Van Damme. I know Ringo Lam did 3 or 4, The Replicant, In Hell. He did a couple others that I'm blanking on. But Knockoff is at the peak of Jean-Claude Van Damme's, Jean-Claude Van Damme's cocaine habit. And it's actually very apparent. I feel like every scene he's in, he's kind of glossed over or with beads of sweat. Like he just did a line and he's like, all right, let's fucking shoot this. He's kind of bouncing off the walls in this film, but it makes for a really unique atmosphere with the Hong Kong action, the kinetic Hong Kong action style, and a coked up Van Damme. It makes for the very interesting film. I really love this film. I'm not sure if I have it on Blu-ray. I really need it on Blu-ray. Stephen E. D'Souza wrote this film. He wrote Die Hard as well. It's not a bad film. It's a weird one. A shipment of jeans to the U.S. proves counterfeit. Marcus Bay, the king of knockoffs, finds himself at the center of a Russian mafia plot to hold the United States security for ransom. It's a fun little movie by Tsui Hark from '98. I'm a fan. What can I say? Here's a Miramax release here. Don't think this is one of the harder to find or more valuable ones, but James Earl Jones and Richard Harris in Cry, the Beloved Country, which is based on a classic novel of the same name. And I've yet to read the novel. I don't know much about the story. I know it deals with racial tensions. I'm pretty sure it does. Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't even... In a land torn by hatred and injustice, James Earl Jones and Richard Harris are two fathers, one a man of peace, the other a man of power and privilege, whose lives seem destined for a violent collision, but instead, the wake of a tragic killing, these extraordinary men form an unlikely union and together find the kind of understanding that could heal a nation. It's like, yeah, I think it probably deals with race relations and sort of mending the wounds of the past, etc. Like the 90s were what the 90s were known for, a lot of these kinds of sanguine sorts of films. A man of power, man of peace brought together by a chilling event. So, sounds good, good cast. Definitely check that one out. I think I might have it, but it was 50 cents. I picked it up anyway. This one, the case is all beat up, and actually a few of these, the cases were beat up, which is why I think they were at the Restore. I'll be able to replace this case. I think I gotta double check. I might have this, but this is James Gray, a guy I've talked about a few times in this film, in this video already. James Gray directed We Own the Night and The Yards, as well as Little Odessa. This is not necessarily a crime film, but more of an adventure film based on a true story of Percy Fawcett, who in the 20th century journeys into the Amazon to try to find the lost city of Z, lost city of gold in the Amazon forest, which is this mythological city that some explorers in the past have written of. That was the society where everything was built of gold. It was this thriving society in the middle of the Amazon. There's some evidence for it. It's a really cool story. And this guy, Percy Fawcett, ventured into the Amazon and came across all sorts of trials and tribulations. And I do want to check this one out. Even though Charlie Hunnam doesn't really thrill me, I need to check that one out. City Slickers, I picked this up because I've been wanting to rewatch it, and I can't find my Blu-ray. I don't know where my Blu-ray went. You guys, you know, when you have 10,000 movies, every once in a while a movie just disappears, and you're like, what the fuck? Where did it go? I'm sure it's in the house somewhere, or in a box somewhere. But, anyway. I'm losing steam here, folks. City Slickers, Billy Crystal, Daniel Stern, Bruno Kirby. Great classic adventure comedy here. Can't go wrong with that. Here's a film I don't think I own. I might. Simpatico. I don't know much about this. It's directed by Matthew Warchus. I don't recognize that name. Nick Nolte, Sharon Stone, and Jeff Bridges. So great actors across the board there. 1999 the film came out, it looks like. It has the widescreen version. It's an R-rated film. What happens when passion and greed surface in the heart of Kentucky's stunning thoroughbred country? Stars three friends who share the bond of a crime they committed 20 years ago. When their secret surfaces, it threatens to unravel the tightly woven fabric of their lives. Now they must decide how far they will go to keep the secret buried, or whether to face the consequences of setting things right in this electrifying drama about the good and evil friends share. Really interesting plot there. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Definitely have never seen it. I love Daniel Stern. Bushwhacked is one of my favorites of his. I loved Bushwhacked. I wish he starred in more. Celtic Pride's a fun one, too. Very Bad Things he's good in. Here we have a film that I think is pretty good. Not bad. It has one scene in it where Denzel is like, he's admonishing. He overhears like some politicians going, yeah, we need to torture this guy. We need to torture it out of him. And Denzel comes in like, I can't believe you're going to torture this guy to get information. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus. If you know anything about history, the U.S. has done plenty of torturing all throughout since World War II, really, to get answers and etc. But this is pre-9/11, so it has that sort of innocence to it. But I thought some of the writing was kind of a smack in the face to people who are politically aware, or at least historically aware. But that happens sometimes. Bushwhacked is about the camper's kid. Yeah, Bushwhacked is really fun. Definitely check it out. But yeah, The Siege is pretty good. Has a good performance by this like corrupt general Bruce Willis, and actually it came out in '98, and it deals with a terrorist attack in New York City, Middle Eastern terrorist attack in New York City. So it rings prescient rewatching it now. And definitely makes me think of those ideas of predictive programming and how art reflects society and society reflects art. It's like this push and pull. It's this really interesting dialectic that happens, I think. I'm not saying film inspires real-life violence, but I think they're caught up in such a way that sometimes people have their finger on the pulse. And who knows, maybe our government has been... as I've told you guys, our government has worked on a lot of these types of films. Not all of them, but you could usually tell when you're watching a film if it's overly critical of the American government. This one is pretty critical of the American government. But, alright guys, so next up, we've got a few other ones here. Save the best for last. We have a Michael Madsen and Dennis Hopper film. I'm not saying this is great, I just think it's unique. Platinum release here of LAPD to Protect and Serve. This seems like a Colors type of inner city crime film that's from the perspective of the cops. I think these are interesting sometimes. This came out in 2000. Dennis Hopper's in this, Mark Singer, Michael Madsen. I don't know if this is supposed to be very good. I don't really care. I like these types of late 90s, early aughts, cops and robbers kind of thing, urban or inner city crime kind of films, but LAPD to Protect and Serve. And then we have Getting There, Mary-Kate Olsen and Ashley Olsen, the Olsen twins. These are out of print. These fetch quite a bit. Some of them do. Some of the earlier ones on DVD demand pretty decent value, actually. This one, for example, sells for $25 to $30 in good condition. Dennis played the human Bowser. Oh, Dennis Hopper. That's right. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. King Koopa in the movie. They don't call him Bowser, but in the movie, he's King Koopa. Or just Koopa. And, yes, trying to get these off without damaging the box here. But, yeah, this is Getting There with the Olsen twins. And like I said, this is fetching like $25 or $30. I I grew up watching these, but I have no desire to go back and watch these. In fact, it's one of those things that I would find like a little weird to go back and watch. You know, because when these were coming out, I was a kid. I was young, so I'm pretty much the same age as these girls. So I grew up watching them, like their early stuff, and then kind of grew older with them and kind of had a crush on them. So, you know, it's all kind of weird. I had a crush on them when I was a kid. Let me fucking emphasize that. But these fetch a good amount of money in good condition, which this one is. So I'm definitely going to sell that one on eBay. That's not one I think I can move at the store. Never a fan of Mary-Kate and Ashley. I hear you. Back in the VHS days, I was a big fan of some of the like Halloween one, the Indiana Jones kind of one. They were fun, for me at least, and I have no shame admitting that. This one I want to clean up a little bit, but this is why I love collecting VHS. This one is staying in the collection. The vast majority of VHSs that you guys have seen me pick up have gone to the store. I think there was one that James Coburn film I kept. That like thriller drama I kept on VHS because it's not on DVD. But this one was really surprising to see at the thrift store today, Goodwill, by an ex-Disney animator. He directed Richard Rich, and Brian Neeson directed this. Brian Neeson did like Trumpet and the Swan movies, I think. He did a lot of work on those. There's like 6 of them. Richard Rich directed Fox and the Hound, actually, or at least co-directed. I forget that had 2 directors. But he did Fox and the Hound, he did like The King and I, a couple other animated films. But this one came out in 2000, and it seems to be an original story here. Yeah, a story written by, original story written by Richard Rich and Brian Neeson, the guys who directed it. So this is really their passion project, it seems. And it's called The Scarecrow. I think this is why I love collecting VHS, guys. I love coming across stuff like this that I've never heard of, never saw when I was growing up. Never made it to DVD or Blu-ray or streaming. I'm sure you could find it on YouTube. It's probably a VHS rip. But I love this. This is definitely going in my VHS collection. I want to check this out at some point. It's a feature-length film, fantasy about a scarecrow. Looks like it has a little bit of horror elements, you know, fantasy horror kind of elements like witches and pumpkins on the back. And scarecrow obviously is kind of in that same sort of milieu. And yeah, I don't know much about this, but that's okay. Magical animation, supernatural action, and a scarecrow who just wants to get real. So, sounds fun to me. A little bit of Wizard of Oz obviously going on there. But so cool to find this. Honestly, one of the coolest finds of the last week. I'm going to get one more game in there, guys. Sorry to bore you, but my brother went to a yard sale, and there was a guy selling some games, and they were not priced insanely. He understood that it was a yard sale, and he wasn't asking for like full market price. I want to show this one off, Liberty or Death. This is a little strategy game for the Super Nintendo. I love it because it has George Washington, Ben Franklin, and some of our Alexander Hamilton, some of our founding fathers there in the U.S. on the cover. And I can't say that George Washington isn't on too many video game artworks, so I think this is great. Koei does great strategy games, very technical strategy games like Romance of the Third Kingdom, of the Three Kingdoms, etc. But this is an American-flavored Koei game, so I just think that's very cool, and you know, there's a little bit of patriot in me, so I think this is healthy patriotism. I think this is critical patriotism. I think this is such a cool thing to have in the collection. I looked it up when I was there. I was like, it's worth $60. What do you want to sell it at? He was like, how about 20? And I was like, here you go, $20 bill. I'll take it for a $60 game. It's a pretty hard to find Super Nintendo game. All right, guys. I think you're going to be surprised with the next few here. We'll start with the least surprising. Now, all of these I picked up for $1, and I think they were still there because the boxes were pretty beat up. I'm going to try to find replacements boxes. I think I have them. This one's really cool and kind of encapsulates all of the Platinum Collection Looney Tunes into one. So this is 6 discs. It's over 1,000 minutes of cartoons, which is insanely cool. Is intended for the adult collector and may not be suitable for children. That's right. That's how I like my cartoons. God damn it. But this is so cool to have these all kind of packed into one. I think I might have one of these on Blu-ray if I'm not mistaken. But still, I don't have all of them. And this is the most official and legit way to have all these old cartoons. Uncensored, unedited. These are in perfect condition. The only thing that is not in perfect condition is the box. As you can see here, it's pretty fucked up. And even the artwork over there. But that's okay. The cartoons is what matters to me. Having these on DVD is very, very important to me. I mean, these are the types of things that get censored these days, and so having these old DVDs is really cool, and maybe to sometime in the future might be important. I think is already important, but maybe increasingly, exponentially important, depending on where things go with the world. Spielberg did Tiny Toon. Yes, he did. He had a part to do with it, a hand to do with it, actually. Next up, guys, this is so cool to find. I found a film that I only have on DVD, a film that I needed on Blu-ray, and the universe was like, hey, I know you need this on Blu-ray, but I'll do you one better. I'll give you the Blu-ray and the 4K, and I'll give it to you sealed. Now, the 4K case is a little beat up. That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Again, that's why I think I got these for such a good deal. I think they were probably left behind by somebody, maybe a reseller, and I just think this is so cool to find at a thrift store for $1. Caught it on camera, so you'll be able to see that video later on in a short. And I'm going to try to get it out tonight. But Casper is a film that I grew up watching. I used to have a huge crush on Christina Ricci. Again, when I was younger, I had a crush on her when she was younger. Now that she's older, I still have a crush on her as she's older. It's hard to articulate. It's weird to articulate that, but I think she's gorgeous. I love her eyes. I've always loved Christina Ricci. Unfortunately, she's not the best actress, but she's good enough, and she's pretty. Very pretty. My type of girl. I don't really have a specific type. I like girls of all different persuasions, and I find all different types of women attractive from all over the world, and I don't discriminate. And but Casper's a really cool one to find. I haven't seen this film since I was a kid, so I really am looking forward to checking that one out. And I have it on 4K and Blu-ray now. Little Richard played the song. Which one? In Casper? I don't remember that. And last but certainly not least, folks, in fact, the coolest one to find, for $1 at the Restore, is a 4K and Blu-ray Criterion Barry Lyndon. I found this brand new and sealed at Restore, and there's a reason. It's a little beat up, but I think I could make this work. I could fix it up a little bit as best as I can, clean it up. But to find a Criterion 4K at the Restore for $1 is obviously, unquestionably, indubitably swell. And so, Barry Lyndon is a film I absolutely love. Barry Lyndon is, I know it's cliche, but every single frame in this film is gorgeously composed, like a Renaissance painting. It's fantastic. This takes place, it's a period piece around the time of the 7 Years' War, but it covers like 30 years of time. I love this movie because it's all about faking it till you make it, which is, a big thing that I've wrestled with, an idea that I've wrestled with, how you just kind of have to fake it to get anywhere in this society, in this world. You have to sacrifice a part of yourself. You have to pretend like you know things you don't. And I'm just a little too honest for that. And so it's always fascinating to get a window into the types of narcissists that plague the world, and just step on whoever they need to step on, kill whoever they need to kill to get higher up in the on the ladder. And this is almost a quintessential example of that. Barry Lyndon starts as this nobody. He's just like I don't know. He's a nobody. He's just a normal peasant, normal kind of guy. There's an opportunity that he sees to step into the shoes of somebody more prestigious, and he does so, and he just fakes it till he makes it, and he becomes this awful tyrant. So he goes from this normal, unthinking sort of person to this aristocratic monster of a human being who does all sorts of awful things by the end of this film. You will hate him. And Ryan O'Neal puts in the performance of his career, in my opinion. He's perfect in the role. This is such an underrated Kubrick film. I think it's incredible. I want to read the novel by Thackeray. I've yet to do that. I didn't know it was based on a novel. I should have known better. But it says, a sardonic, devastating portrait of a vanishing world whose opulence conceals the moral vacancy at its heart. Very well said. Just an incredible film here, and so glad to find it on Criterion 4K, let alone Blu-ray. It has both the Blu-ray and the 4K. This is an epic film, 3 hours long, one of Kubrick's best and most underrated films. All right, guys. Well, I can't talk anymore. I'm going to go and I'm going to rest. It's been fun hanging out with you guys as usual. I wish you all a great rest of your day, no matter what time it is, if you're getting ready for sleep, or if you're just waking up, or if you're getting ready to enjoy the day like I am. I hope you guys enjoy. And thank you very much, Jolly Good. I'm going to eat some soup and watch some movies and read some books. That's what I'm going to do. So I hope all you guys have a good one. If you could hit that thumbs up for me, I'd really appreciate it. It definitely has been helping greatly, all of your support. You guys are consistently watching my stuff, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed this live stream and are new to the channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button, as well as the little bell for notifications to be notified as to when I do go live, which at this point is at least once a week, guys, when I can. And I do a couple shorts a week, and I'm planning some bigger live streams like I did for the 100 slasher films ranked, which you guys seem to enjoy quite a bit. So I really appreciate all the feedback, all the support, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you all. Thank you, Jolly Good, Byron, Ralph Rosa, Michael, everybody that joined the chat today. I appreciate it. Keep a lookout for some of the shorts later that'll show me finding some of this stuff in the wild, and I will see you later. Thank you so much, guys. Bored Cyborg is out.